Hello and welcome, or welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. So I've been working on a new book. If you've been following my channel for the last couple of months, I've been posting a lot of poems in response to the political situation in my country, the United States. I've been writing these poems in notebooks. This is the first notebook of 3 now. The 3 is just underway. And this was commenced without any intention of turning it into a book, but ultimately that is what the decision is. And so I embarked upon typing these. I had not typed them. And this notebook was a mess. It was very disorderly, and it was a grueling project to get everything typed, but I did do it. So I am beginning on the second notebook, which is a lot easier because by the time I started the second notebook, I said, oh, I think something serious is going on here. So I was a little bit more careful. Now, one thing that kind of surprised me, I created a list of all the titles, taking them from YouTube, where YouTube had them, I thought, in order of being posted. And I realized that order is not really accurate 100%. Mostly by dates it is, but within that, it's not, because there are cases in the notebook where I know that one poem preceded the other. But in this case, it doesn't matter. The poems are of a sort that it doesn't matter what sequence they're read in. And I was looking for my cup, but I don't have my cup because I wanted to show you this one. This is from a place up in Evanston where we met some friends, and I would not dare drink a cup like this around here because something might easily happen to it. So I am not sure of what the book is going to be called, but I am thinking of Poems of Resistance and of Dissent. That's kind of similar sounding to Blake's Songs of Innocence and Songs of Despair. Not Despair. Songs of Experience. Despair would be more suitable for me. But that would work pretty well as a subtitle also. So I finished that manuscript and I've started on the other, and I decided, she was just laying on these and crumpling them. I decided to print them out. So I've got a nice sheaf here, and I print them. I think this is 11-point font. I might have gone smaller. I might have gone down to 10. And so this will be what I use when I start to proof things. Now, while I was typing them, I did come across errors here and there and made some small corrections. As far as if I come up with any perplexities in the text, it will be, again, very hard for me to find it in here. I wound up crossing things out with a red pen. My red pens were not working so well. And even in spite of that, it was awfully hard to locate the poems. I wound up having to listen to the video and then look for the starting lines. And I think one of them I couldn't find anyhow, so I had to transcribe it. But be that as it may. And then after printing it out, I decided to do a quick count. It's not anything that's important, but I was just curious, so I was not very careful. I just sped through it, and the number that I came up with was 166. So I think you can see why I've been trying to slow down a bit. My second notebook will have something around that number. but a little bit less because my second notebook contains the one poem in Spenserians, 34 of those, so that's, let me see, I think it's like 11 or 12 pages that it took up, so that's pages that won't go for other poems, but the third notebook is beginning to fill up. So I will not be doing any work with this as yet until I have the whole lot printed out, and then I will use this for proofing. But I thought that I would just give a small poetry reading, and I may do more of these. At this rate, I'm trying to think, it will take me another week to type out the rest, depending on my schedule. I've had some good time in the past week. If I have less time, it will take longer. And then I'm not going to finalize it or finish it up until there is something integral to the work or some external cause which makes it clear to me that the book is stopped at this point. Otherwise, I will keep writing and keep adding to the bulk of poems. But if this is 166 poems, I'm sure that I have another 166 poems already finished, not to mention what will be added to the pile herewith. Now, some of these poems, I should say, are very short. There have been a few occasions where I just, some couplet popped into my head spontaneously and I made a short video of it and never wrote it down. Well, since I was going through all of the titles and didn't know what was what, I wound up hearing that stuff, and so I decided to add them to the book because it reflects the whole experience for me. It's been quite a couple or several months since the Trump presidency began and the concerted effort at dismantling our Republican form of government began. And typing them out, it really struck me just how much has happened in the last 3 months or 100 days. And I am glad that I was able to capture some of this. Now, a couple of the poems in the book, in the notebook, I should say, and therefore in the book, antedate the Trump presidency because I had written a few, just I think 3 poems dealing with the situation in Gaza. And as I've continued, there have still been occasional Gaza/Israel poems that have cropped into the mix. And so I felt it was best to start there. So I will read you one of those first, which was the siege of Amalek. And I'm keeping the dates, and I think this was first posted on February 15th of 2023. The siege of Amalek. Heavenly Lord, I view the wreck as I lie gored in Amalek. The soldiers boot upon my neck as me they shoot in Amalek. As bombs explode, can no one check this lot bestowed on Amalek? Us they destroy, can none protect sad girl and boy in Amalek? Sweet babes destroyed without a speck of mercy void in Amalek. No recourse nor no place to trek, barred every door in Amalek. Yet revels fill the discotheque. They dance who kill in Amalek. They taste their drink with triple sec, while here we sink in Amalek. Innocent we become the dreck of strewn debris in Amalek. So while bombs drop, who signs the check? Will this siege stop of Amalek? Heavenly Lord, I view the wreck as I lie gored in Amalek. So I'll skip ahead to, I didn't pre-think this at all. Well, one of the first poems I think that folks responded favorably to was the one titled Our President, the Surrender Monkey, and I'll read that one. This is from 2/24, February 24th of 2025. We call him a surrender monkey, our Cheeto, Donald Trump, our would-be president and flunky to every kind of junk, to hokum and to bunk. He's but a little punk, and what comes out his mouth, uncouth, is what comes out his rump. He is a champion class chest thumper. It's always a slam dunk. When words fly fast, invective pumper. But if push comes to shove, he's in the basement, love, not with the crowds above. Crybaby cowering like a tyke who stammers, Uncle, Unk. He is a blowhard and a coward, our Cheeto without balls. Like tepid milk when it has soured, he makes his presence felt. Or like a fart that's smelt, enough to make you melt. He's Donald Trump, a man whose tan, like all his words, is false. Well, why don't I do some equal opportunity here and give you my poem about Dr. Schumer. This is from March 14th of 25. Dr. Schumer shrugs his shoulders. Democracy has got a tumor, a fascist growth. It is no rumor. And once 'tis dead, there's no exhumer. For corpses die, and then they lie forevermore in history. Alas, for one, a baby boomer, less early than a tardy bloomer. You can say I feel out of humor to hear the cry of dying nigh in its last gasp of history. 'Tis true I am a gloom and doomer, of the necrosis no perfumer, yet neither of demise assumer. For if we try, then by and by, can we not alter history? Oh no, they've called in Dr. Schumer, well known since Babylon and Sumer, a proud, portentous peacock plume with jaundiced eye, plumer, okay, there's an error. A proud, portentous peacock plumer with jaundiced eye, a yawning guy who has no use for history. I don't have a pen here. The market favors the consumer, quoth Dr. Chuck. Be no presumer that death ensues the fascist tumor. If I deny, why uglify or fret the end of history? I take my poodle to the groomer to spruce it up, and there are numerous reasons not to fret the tumor. For so say I, comply, comply, so fuck off with your history. Those were the words of Dr. Schumer that offered up no hope illumer, himself democracy's entomber, negligent. Why, he lets her die without a care for history. So there's another error. So there's 2 typos in that one poem. I haven't checked any of this, so that tells me that my typing was less accurate than I hoped. Well, not only that, but every program you use, every app, the way it auto changes what you type is different. And so this second one is probably something that the computer did to me without my consent or without my knowledge. Oh, this is a short one. He was exemplary. And these titles are not necessarily going to stay. When I posted the videos, I just put whatever came into my head. Already in the process, I've changed some of them. He was exemplary. How did so many citizens grow tolerant of deceit, of lies and cheating? Decadence was never so complete. The figurehead of all the land epitomizes it. Exemplary, you understand, if what is sought is shit. Well, how about surviving Project 2025? This is from March 30. They called it Project 2025, a plan to make it harder to survive, a plan to stamp out empathy, compassion, and what all else impedes the fascist fashion. Tiny Tim Cratchit, see him hobble by, kick out his crutches, laugh and watch him lie. Ha ha, the boy can't get to where he wants. Let's make him cry with jibes and teasing taunts. Look, there's blind Homer with his unseeing eyes. Let's make him feel he's someone to despise. Let's hide his walking stick and in his path place some obstruction so that we can laugh. Ha ha, we call it Project 2025. You'll be in luck if you get out alive. This one was titled differently, and I've made one change, which I'm not sure that I will go with at this point. This is from April 1st, titled Their Tattoos. The victims targeted today are people with tattoos. Take heed, they'll kidnap you away, or if you speak your views. He had a tattoo honoring his brother with autism. Due process to the side they fling and sent him off to prison. Another had a hummingbird tattooed upon his arm, but the authorities concurred it great cause for alarm. Another's was a sporting logo for which he was condemned. A one-way trip, no chance to yo-yo, though through undue process hemmed. Another a hairdresser lad escaping persecution in his home country, classed as bad his trivial decoration. The government lied at the first to say they were gang members. So future crimes are thus rehearsed. 'Tis how they stoke the embers, beginning with the smallest fry who have the least defense. Soon your due process they'll deny, and don't plead innocence. These men who have been put away, sent to horrific prison, small fractures start as may dismay that lead to cataclysm. And there's another typo I just saw. I wish I had my pen. Because if I don't mark it down when I catch it, it's not guaranteed that I'll catch it again, and it may make its way through to the final book. Well, let me take one from the back side for a change. This one is titled, I Hang My Head, and it's from April 3rd. Although my inspiration fails, still I forge on ahead. But since no word of mine avails, I go and hang my head. Nevertheless, I try again against the evil actors, knowing they are no more than men, though tireless malefactors. If I but make a single drop inside a movement tidal, it may be we some horror stop, which sure beats standing idle. The muse has given me her snub, but what's the effort harming? The worst that I can do is flub, and that's not so alarming. So it was a day the muse was not favoring me, and I just went ahead. And that first stanza, it has a case where instead of rhyming, I just used the same word twice accidentally. And in the case of these poems, I let errors like that slide through. So although my inspiration fails, still I forge on ahead. But since no word of mine avails, I go and hang my head. Those lines came to me when I was out on a walk, and I luckily was able to retain them all the way home. I want to do something in a different meter. Oh, how about, okay, here's one, obviously. This is called On Billionaires Having the Answers. Poets may be the unacknowledged legislators of the world, according to one Percy Shelley. I give him my esteem, respect, and sometimes even love, but never felt his theory much compel me. 'Twould be a pleasant circumstance of wee pomposity to take his words as truth in implication. However, were I even so inclined as to agree, 'twould help me not in status nor in station. I have, however, noted when it comes to billionaires, be they self-made or self-inheritors of fiscal plenty, be it real estate or market shares, they make wild claims and do not take remorse. Qualmless they make assertion that they own the answers to the world's most intricate or troubling problems. Furthermore, they would happily advise what you should do, though heeding them resembles hearing goblins. Despite their bold presumption, fortified by rich estate, most often privilege tends to make them clueless. And lacking empathy, they think superbly themselves great, because diverse perspectives leave them viewless. However, in self-confidence that surpasses even hubris, they diagnose, prescribe, and even order. For when it comes to others, they're inveterate circle cubers, of any who agree with them rewarder. It does no good to intellect to be one with sycophants, perpetually obsequiously surrounding. For fallen by his ankles, one may thereby find his pants, some crackpot crazy crudity propounding. Well, I think maybe I'll leave it there. I may come back to do this again. So I can't really say, I'm so used to grabbing for my cup. I can't really say when to expect the book out. I would guess at the best a month from now. That is relying upon external cooperation of just my time schedule, and then also cooperation as far as the matter of completing the book itself. I would be happy to. I would be happy to end the project. The ideal way would be for this regime to fall. Of course, it could happen in a different way. I have no idea what that pounding noise is. Music, possibly? So I will leave off there. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.